What do you think Hugo's career Sonya stat is?
Did you just look it up?
Yes.
Ooh, you mean in terms of wins?
Yes, win rate. Percentage.
75.
66.7.
Oh, that's still very impressive. And what is the sample size?
33 games, now 34, so that percentage will go up a tiny bit, because this isn't fully up to date. He has 2 heroes with the same percentage, Leoric and Tyrael, and then he has 2 heroes with a higher win rate. Would you like to guess what they are?
Illidan.
No.
Maiev.
Also no.
Dang it, I'm clueless.
His heroes with a higher win rate are Thrall, with 72.7%.
Solid.
And Lucio, with 100% over one game. I don't even remember when he played Lucio, but apparently he did.
That was before our time.
Probably, maybe, I don't know. Or it was just so long ago that we just don't remember. All the games blend into one. But yeah, his Illidan percentage is 56.3. As I'm sure you were probably curious.
I was indeed. For those of you who are relatively new to HGC China, by the way, Hugo is, of course, a little bit of a favorite player of mine, or of ours, I should say. Very flashy, very spectacular, and most importantly, came to HGC China proving to be the best Illidan we've ever seen in China, potentially in the world, in some of the games. And he is an absolute beast from that hero. Unfortunately, as you guys are aware, Illidan not really in the best of spots right now. Maybe we're going to see some love for the Betrayer in the near distant future.
Illidan 1v1. Hugo, we get X back in the game. Have those two fight it out.
Yes.
But now, though, we have a Phoenix being first pick once again by the One. They certainly have a pattern.
They certainly do have a pattern. And I wonder where Mughal actually came from. Like, is he an open division player? Was he signed by a different HGC? Now, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen him in the HGC before. I would have remembered his face and name. It would be really interesting to find out, because he came out of nowhere. He wasn't even the substitute player for the one at the midseason brawl, right? That was Andre. So
correct. Who is still technically a substitute for the One. They just haven't used him.
Yeah.
So intriguing. So Mafurian as the support for the One, the very first pick that they have brought in. Now, what are we going to see to go with it? Mafurian Tracer, if this was like a month or so ago, but we appear to have moved past that now, potentially. So we're going to start with Malf Muradin.
Never change a winning team. If it worked in the last game and you looked good, it went smoothly, why would you change anything else? Not only are you very likely going to succeed again, but also you're hiding a little bit of strategies there. You know, you don't give away that many other picks for the enemy team, the other teams to analyze on. So it's pretty cool for the One to just go in very neutrally. And here's what I respect and like about teams like RPG. They know they're the underdogs, and they're not afraid to go crazy and pick something extraordinary. Like the Ana, for example, sometimes we saw the Tracer being used a lot there. She's not really extraordinary, but certainly special. Whereas TeamNut now finding themselves in a huge disadvantage, and they keep trying to play the normal game. I mean, it's still fine, don't get me wrong, right? But I just want to see that little spark of extravagance.
Spark of creativity.
Yeah.
If you're struggling the normal way, try the other way. But for now, that is not the case. At least not yet. Who knows what's coming later in the draft for Nut? They still have 2 picks left. That could be a Cho'Gall. No support Cho'Gall comp. Who knows? We don't. We will find out shortly. As the One, they are going to... but they'll probably ban out Deckard or something like that. We already know just how irritating he can be.
Yeah, I agree so. Yeah. There we go. I mean, Deckard Cain is just so insanely powerful on certain maps more than on others. And I think BOE is definitely one of the more powerful maps where he can be on. Simply due to the fact that he can time his potions so well. It's very predictable as to where your allies are going to move on near the Immortal, right? You can cover the entire ground with red potions. Really solid. His laning phase is actually surprisingly good as well, with all the CC he brings to the table. The roots, the slows, the anti-heal. coming into this, I think when Deckard was first released, true, he did receive a couple of buffs in the meantime, but when he was first released, a lot of people didn't like him that much. But there was always the pro scene, right? The pro scene was always aware of how good he could be. Whereas the majority yeah.
When I first saw Deckard Cain, my immediate reaction was, oh good, another thing for my allies to not do, like taking the portal or getting in the bunker. And I was like, oh god, this is going to be a nightmare. Turns out that it is a nightmare. But in pro play, it's brilliant.
Absolutely. And we already saw his rise during the mid-season brawl, where more and more teams realized how powerful he was. Li Ming for the pokes, Blaze for the protection.
That's some already some actual immortal damage for the one. Very low at the moment. Blaze is not a good racer, but he can definitely hold a lane at least against Malthael. Malthael will eventually win out, but he does build up time. So you need a support and probably another range damage dealer. So someone like Greymane might struggle actually a bit because Muradin's attack speed slows.
Yeah. And Greymane struggles in general right now in the current meta. Like, there's so many heroes that can easily kite him, so many heroes that can outpoke him from a longer distance. Greymane, ever since he lost his poking himself, like with a cocktail build, and ever since his damage was tackled over and over again, Wizened Duelist, for example, he just doesn't feel like he's the same hero anymore. Let's see. 2 seconds left on the clock. Alex Strasser and Cassia into the Li Ming and no single auto attacker.
Yeah, that's bad racing potential. Okay poke damage in the form of the Thunderstroke build, which this for 100% will be. The Lightning Fury.
So there's literally only ability damage up to this point, right? Blaze and his oil spill. Then we have Li Ming, Moonfire's by Malfurion.
They all do. Outside of Li Ming and Malfurion, they do auto attack and they can gain value from auto attacks. Muradin, especially on level 4, where he gains either given the axe or the skull.
7, yeah.
7, yes, that's the one. Sorry. I mean, it could be preemptive, I guess.
I want to see a Lunara right now. Honestly, Lunara right now, good core immortal racing potential. The poison is going to continue to tick on Cassia all the time for full damage.
I would like that or a mage. I mean, just double mage it. If
double
they're going to
up,
commit to that, double mage it.
If you go for the Q build, yes.
Sort of magey, but otherwise it's just a solid hero. It's safe, it's fine, it's what the one should have picked.
Tetcher, I'm calling Hinterland Blast.
For what lockdown has the
Muradin stun, Roots, Blaze stun, couple of choke points on BOE in general.
A lot of stuns, but there's also a lot of stuff to disengage from. I'm sticking with Gust, but I can see the idea.
Alright, so we see the false set coming in once again. I think Meng just is feeling the Birdman today. It's actually his 3rd game in a row. I think he's on that hero, so can't blame him. And definitely a nice switch in play as well, because normally we're used to seeing him on the Genjis, on the Greymanes, on the Janas. But today already he's shown so much variety, playing the Hammer, playing the Falstad. Gotta switch it up every now and then. Now, this Cassia pick, I struggle to see the reason in it. As he said, the racing potential is mediocre at best. They do have Phoenix, Malthael. I guess it's not terrible, but I don't think the one wants to race. They want to brawl because they know they've got superior team fighting anyways. So how much is Cassia going to be able to do there? Falstad very likely going for a Boomerang build, or at least some of the mage stat builds. And
I mean, yeah, actually, I guess he should, right?
Yeah.
Wingman seems like it'd be okay.
Can you stack on BOE? No, you can't. It's a 2-lane map. You're spending so much time in the middle of the map, right? Fighting for the Immortal.
It's either going to be Hammerang, or he's going to make some real good use out of that
W-build?
Out of that global, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Just to get the minions on even as he's a marksman, or on the lane as he's a marksman.
What was that?
That was a demon. And this is TeamNut. With No playing Phoenix, FS playing Diablo, Faye on the Malthael, Oasis on the Cassia, and Atui playing the Alexstrasza.
Alrighty then, and the one in the reds, we've got Hugo. On that Blaze, we see Muggle on the Li Ming. Meng is playing the Falset again, Murdin being played by the one and only Hihi, and ZJZ is on that Malfurion.
And the game doth begin. It's going to be Muggle and ZJZ chilling in the bot lane. Everyone else already at top lane, and they're going to find two people. They're going to find Phoenix and Malthael up here. Observe, please, thank you, because there is an engage as they look for Faye. Nice teleport. It's trying to juke. Barrel roll is risky, and it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough here. God, really good early brawling already. Faye needs to go back. So does No. Is it going to be enough? Yes, there goes another ranged attack by Hugo. Beautifully done. And they take out the Phoenix immediately.
First blood and also some tower damage goes over to the one. Very nicely done. As long as they can keep that up, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape. It was a nice little move up. I'm honestly quite surprised they didn't get 2 kills from that.
Okay, so nothing out of the ordinary. The one continues to dominate the early rotations. Let's see who they can find after this early pickup. Malthael already needs to be super careful. Faye, he's probably one of the better Malthaels in the league. Really accomplished player altogether. But in that series against the one, they as a team haven't really seen much light up to this point. ZJZ spots out the mercenary camp here. Muggle trying to just harass a little bit from over the wall. Nothing out of the ordinary happening here. And both teams actually sharing the Impalers on the top and the bottom half respectively.
So the nice little move here is the fact that because the one are actually keeping the 3-man up here, they're denying Cassia stacks. This is forcing a rotation from TeamNut.
Yeah.
Phoenix is staying in bot lane and everyone else is coming up. He will see this. It's going to allow Meng and Hugo to get the very easy retreat, but a stack is still acquired by Cassia.
And the difference is now, TeamNut has been defending this with 4 people, right? That means one Phoenix in the bottom lane was not enough to really get any significant pushing going, whereas the one had actually gone for a 3-2 split. That means Li Ming and Malfurion, they were actually able to dispatch all these mercenaries. Good escape here by No nonetheless, but also get more damage done in the top lane too with that 3-man squad because there was only one single Malthael defending. So already with these tiny rotation decisions, right, on how many people you send for the defense, how many people you send for the offense, you can actually see how much that has an impact on the experience. A slight but still significant lead for the one already. Are they going to get that tower? Li Ming's poking is probably going to be enough. Yeah.
No's a little low, but he has already had a chance to heal up a little bit after the attempted gank on his life. Hugo getting a head start on that fallen shaman. Everyone from Nut is already there.
Alright, they're now taking care of the fallen shaman camps roughly at the same time. Good timing for both teams here. 7 seconds until the immortals are going to descend here. Now, Fawcett, of course, I mean, BOE is not necessarily a map that is known to have, you know, a lot of globals in the game, right? Because the map is rather small. Yeah. You can still walk there, but even that tiny little extra soaking, that tiny little bit of extra pushing in the top lane by Fawcett can make a big difference. Racing-wise, the one is actually doing a pretty okay job, but of course, because of the lack of Fawcett, they're actually falling behind, and TeamNut now with a slight advantage.
So, in a light, by the way, coming in from the Cassia. No healing talents at all so far. Just purely relying on her allies in the form of the Alexstrasza.
Yeah, so whenever she gets stunned, of course, the blind is going to trigger automatically with a small cooldown in between. And the radius of the blinding light is also going to be slightly increased, right? So it's normally a really good talent against certain heroes, like we remember back a few months ago when Illidan had the Hunt. It was a great talent against him. Yeah. However, that was really close in the Meng. However, against a team that doesn't really have to rely on auto attacks in the first place with, you know, the Blaze, the Li Ming, not sure if there's going to be a lot of value from this talent. Dragon Queen to secure this Immortal, and I think the one they're going to have to pull back eventually.
Yep, Hugo dashes out, gets blinded on the way out, but like you said, this will be a half-shield Immortal going over to TeamNut. A little bit of a head start for them. Let's see how much structure damage it can get, as they did lose the lading phase. And the one still soaking experience and beginning to creep a little bit further ahead there. It's all about this defense now. If this defense is good, then the one are looking solid moving into the next stage of the game.
That they do. So they basically traded the objective for soaking a little bit more experience. So 7 comes in a little quicker here with that advantage. We see a little bit of an advantage here when it comes to defending. He getting body blocked, jumps to safety though. The roots are good as well. The shield has already been broken on that Immortal. And we see a little bit of a different Falstad build, by the way. He did indeed go for the Boomerang, if I read that correctly. And is going for a little bit of a hybrid build now, not going fully auto attack damage.
Indeed, going for what the Boomerang gives you the extra wave clear, which helps you get more auto attack damage in general. And Secret Weapon has been out of favor for approximately a year. Charged up only really being picked when you're going for the Wingman build. But yeah, Boomerang helps you lane clear, which means more stacks, which means more attack damage, which means you get to do, well, more murdering. As Meng, he's chilling there at the moment. Doesn't want to get himself caught out of position, even though he is soaking XP. He's still gonna gain stacks. It's fine. No rush.
I think already TeamNut is looking a little more stable than in game number 1. They definitely do not fall behind in experience overly. They already were able to secure themselves the first objective. Hold that thought. Phoenix gets absolutely blown to pieces. By the same token, though, they are actually building up a lot of momentum, a lot of pressure in the top lane, right? With those mercenaries, with Diablo zoning away Meng. But it looks like both teams actually just want to trade forwards evenly, which is a good call. I mean, there was no way the one could have actually made it in time to defend the top, and vice versa for TeamNut. So not really a whole lot is changing in the overall experience count. Now, of course,
in terms of structure value, the one coming out a little bit behind here, even though they're significantly ahead in XP, the lane they pushed is against the one where their structure is weaker, where their fort is weaker. So overall, in terms of core fort health, TeamNut are pretty far ahead, as their top fort is almost entirely healthy. So even if Nut win an Immortal, even if it's a low shield one, it's a good chance that TeamNut could defend it.
It's good. You know, those tiny little details, they really do matter, especially if TeamNut were to gain another Immortal. But first of all, they need to get it. Level 10 is so close. Still, they fight on even terms, but Falstad is doing the best he can to soak that level 10. And here it is, Nut FS. He's not having enough yet. He's trying to make something happen here with the Overpower. The Stormbolt misses by Hehe. And the bunker so far being used in vain. Now, I didn't see which heroic ability Falstad shows. I think it's the Mighty Gust because of the cooldown.
I would assume so. And yeah, it's definitely Mighty Gust with the cooldown, yeah. Also would have been weird to have that be on have Hinterland Blast be on cooldown while he was 1v1 with Malthael in the top lane. One-man Hinterland Blast, the most satisfying kind.
Alright, so I think until TeamNut decides to defend this, you know, with a 5-man hold, these two heroic abilities will probably be ready, especially if the one plays it a little more patiently, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're utilizing this 50% advantage. Oh, never mind. This is actually good positioning for them. The Blue Immortal getting immediately defended by the Nut team members, though. Can they hold it? Bunker is back. 8 seconds until the Hinterlands Blast. Leaving superior poking is going to be very useful. Needs to be careful, though, not to expose herself. And who's actually pushing? It's Malthael. Look at that. It's still a 4 versus 4 because Falstad is still keeping the top lane in check.
There he is. And slowly but surely, Muggle burns down this Immortal. Very slowly but surely.
Oh, ZJZ is in trouble
right now. Good stun by Blaze. Lightning of Breath is used. And bunker denial.
Valkyrie?
Nicely done. Valkyrie pulls in Hehe, and Hehe jumps away.
So the problem here was that FS actually used the Lightning Breath a little too late, but they get the kill onto Hehe after all. This was a good pickup without the main tank. This push, this strong Immortal actually looks a lot less threatening. However, though, are they done fighting just yet? They steal away the mercenary camp on top of it. It's the icing on the cake, if you will. So, alright, the 1-8 seconds hill. Murden might actually make it back in time here to cause at least a little bit of trouble. The Immortal already pushing in the top lane. And Malthael in trouble. Falstad flying in. More people are already on the way.
Faye getting chased down.
Good
Damage
slow.
being dropped onto him. Falstad is getting outplayed thanks to the slow.
You shall not
there.
pass. I don't think that was even necessary, the Gust.
I think he was trying to push it into the combo of Li Ming. Instead, what we're going to do is end up with everyone into the just death zone of Diablo. Bunker is used. It's a nice little bunker juggle here. The Cleansing Flame for the turnaround. That's going to make it potentially a 3-for-1. No, just a 2-for-1.
Unfortunately, the bunker came a moment too late here. Otherwise, Meng on that false that could have actually been safe, but he was barrel rolling to the right away from the bunker. So that was a cute little move, but Li Ming jumping in there to safety, and with the flames, they took down the Phoenix.
And now, we see the Bruiser camp being hovered around. The one looks like they would like to steal it, and TeamNut know this. This is why they are gathered in this area. Diablo tackles forward, looking for Hehe into the oil. As Hugo begins trying to burn it down, Lightning Breath is used very, very far in advance. This is more as a zone, see if they can guarantee this camp, which they will be able to.
Bunker is huge. Lots of
AoE
damage
not able
coming
to.
in.
What? Here comes the salvo and the gust. The camp is stolen by Hehe. FS killed off by Hugo.
My God, are you
it's
kidding
a
me?
massacre. Muggle hits all the buttons and gets all the kills. Camp is stolen. This is going to be a keep potentially.
Muggle was waiting so hard for that final, for that first initial reset, right? Everybody was dropping so low by TeamNut at the same exact time. He himself was actually at the brink of death, but thanks to the self-regen upon resets, he got health after health after health. And, I mean, that was just like dominoes. Like, he got one and basically booped up all the others. That was just beautiful.
It was beautiful indeed as they rotate up to the middle of the map, preparing for the objective. They've guaranteed themselves a keep. Bottom pressure now permanently coming in against TeamNut. And here we see a quick replay of this objective fight. Look at this. We see the bunker being used. Hehe gets onto the point. Whoa. Barely. Gust from the other side by Meng, and then Li Ming. Boom. Who is the first?
1, 2, 3.
Who was first? I didn't see who died.
Oh man, that felt very satisfying. I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat who is a fellow Li Ming player, Li Ming main, knows that feeling all too well. And that was just brutal. And they get the keep on top of that as well. A 5-man gust as well. The bunker was absolutely spot on there. Everything just went so well for the one. TeamNut though, finally they're level 13 themselves. Finally they catch up on talents. Only to find themselves behind again, though, because 16 is already around the corner for the one. They don't even care to defend this wall right now, the one that is. Look at, they're all spread all over the place.
Yeah, they seem pretty chill. It's going to be pushing on to a tier 2 is the issue here. So they're going to just get to the halfway point, burn it down a fair amount themselves. Falstad was trying to do some stuff for a keep fly, and he's gone this, let him go. They know they can't catch him. He flies back in, rejoins, actually almost flies into Faye. And the race won by the one here as FS tries to get onto Hehe. Valkyrie hits Meng, but it hits him into a wall here as there comes the wave of force, trying to get them a good engaged target. They're trying to go for Faye or for the Diablo here onto FS. And it turns out they're just going to get everyone.
2, there goes the slow, there goes the wave of force as well. Cassia's getting absolutely melted, and only Diablo FS here to tell the story for now, but no. They're taking no prisoners, they leave no survivors, and down goes the Lord of Terror once more. Meng is having a little... They're actually delaying this a little bit, I think, for staggered deaths too. See, Meng is not even attacking.
Yeah, darts it around, sprays being dropped. I think they know they can end here because Falso could just fly away.
See,
at
and
any
FS
point.
is giving up.
Yeah, FS, he knows. He knows. In the meantime, oh, the fly's interrupted though. That's on the 10-second cooldown. Down goes Diablo out of rage. Also has to walk, and they might actually be able to end now.
Yep, here goes the Dragon Queen in a last saving effort here. TeamNut, they need to hold this if they want to. The Immortal is dropping a little low here, and the one is actually zoned out. Can they do it? Can TeamNut hold?
Immortal is down with 38% on the core, 37%. Hugo moves on. They have Diablo. There's the gust. Bunker will do it, and that is GG. Game number 2 goes to the one, and they take the full 3 points. And they extend their lead over SPT even further.
Yeah, it was not meant to be. The one